There does sound and seem to be much more pressure on this administration now. They are looking for a much harder line on Israel. Many of your fellow Democrats.
Well, the administration is taking this conflict very seriously. In the past day, there have been about 25 high-level calls and meetings between senior officials, Israelis and Palestinians, and including just in the past hour between President Biden and Prime Minister Netanyahu. They agreed to maintain close consultation, and the consultation also includes regional allies. The U.S. has been in contact with the Qataris, the Egyptians, the Jordanians, the Tunisians, and an envoy was sent to meet with the Jordanian officials as well as Israelis and Palestinians. The goal of the Biden administration is to help to de-escalate the violence, to restore calm and support Israel's right to self-defense. Because as Congresswoman Tlaib said, while Hamas may not speak for the Palestinian people, as we speak, Hamas is raining down rockets, over 1,000. Into Israel.
So let me ask you this.
This administration supports Israel's right to self-defense.
President Biden is talking in very calming tones about de-escalation, whilst you heard a Democratic Congresswoman talking about taking away the $4 billion that America currently gives to Israel. That's a bigger step than just de-escalation. Is that the way the administration should go now?
Absolutely not. Back in the Obama administration, when Biden was vice president, there was a 10-year agreement between the United States and Israel for $38 billion over the next decade. And that aid is essential. It is what is saving Israeli lives from the onslaught of terrorist attacks that are currently being launched, even as we speak, from Gaza. Every time there's an intercept by the missile defense system, the Iron Dome, that is supported by U.S. aid, and it's essential. It's saving lives.
But Halie, I wonder if you start to recognise, though, that your party is going to the left of you on this issue, and that may become the dominant voice now in terms of relations with Israel.
I don't know that this should be about party and partisan politics. The last administration politicized this issue, and it really was quite damaging. President Biden is approaching this through the lens of U.S. national security interests and our alliances, including with Israel. And whenever there are civilian casualties, of course, it must come to an end. Israelis and Palestinians alike have the right to live in security and safety. And this administration is engaging to both restore calm, de-escalate the tension and the violence, and as well support Israel's right to self-defense.
How muscular do you want that engagement to be? Because the last time we really saw a US president make strides in the Middle East was, I guess you'd say, Bill Clinton. Now, do you want to see that kind of engagement? Do you want to see Joe Biden hosting the conferences, bringing the sides around the table and stepping in as the mediator? Or do you just want him to say de-escalate and leave it to Israel's neighbours?
Well, I think, unfortunately, we're a long way from a resumption of negotiations similar to what we saw in the Clinton administration or even in the Obama administration. But what we've seen is a return of U.S. leadership on the world stage after 4 years of a reckless foreign policy with Donald Trump and a complete neglect of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's pretty clear that you can't exactly turn your back on this conflict. It will reemerge. And this president is a leader internationally, and that is why he's engaging not just the Israelis, but also the Palestinians and our allies in the region to de-escalate. Yeah. It's an essential step, and it's going to continue.
Halie Soifer, thank you very much indeed. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
We move on to